If you ask car enthusiasts in the early 1970s what the fastest car on the street was, you get a dozen different answers depending on who you asked and where you asked. Someone in Santa Monica might claim to know a man who wrecked the PCH in a hopped-up Boss 429 Mustang. In New England, there may be rumors of a legendary Corvette with one of the most repulsive big blocks ever constructed. Perhaps a Hemi Cuda was a local legend in Chicago. In actuality, there was a lot of speed. There were muscle cars everywhere. Every street was patrolled by roadrunners, Chevelles, Mustangs, and Camaros. Insurance was a touch pricey, but not enough to deter people from purchasing horsepower, and gas was inexpensive. For gearheads, it was the heyday. However, out of all the Chevelles, Novas, and GTOs, one vehicle, a peculiar, modest little economy car, had the potential to instantly make its driver a street racing celebrity. Furthermore, it wasn't a factory drag package, a 427 SOHC Comet, or a Copo Camaro. It was the Motion Super Vega, 454 powered and completely insane. The Baldwin Motion partnership. In order to comprehend the existence of such a vehicle, we must discuss Baldwin Motion. Baldwin Motion Performance was a well-known local speed business, and Chevrolet had a dealership in Baldwin, New York. They formed one of the most distinctive alliances in the history of American automobiles. The way it operated was that you could order a brand new automobile from Baldwin Chevrolet and have Motion Performance customize it to your exact specifications before you even received it. They would modify the suspension, install larger engines, and even apply cosmetics. You could even finance these outrageous projects like a typical new car because everything was done through a Chevrolet dealer. Simply sign the paperwork and drive off on a fully built street machine. No dubious backyard swaps or do-it-yourself bits. Building Camaros, Chevelles, Novas, and even certain specialist Corvettes, Baldwin Motion established a reputation for itself. However, they intended to push the boundaries by the early 1970s. The Vega entered the picture at that point. Why the Vega? For the 1971 model year, the Chevrolet Vega made its debut. It was intended to be a compact, cost-effective vehicle to rival imports such as the Datsun 510 and Toyota Corolla. And truthfully, the automobile didn't look horrible. The first-generation Vega was sporty, streamlined, and remarkably handsome for a low-cost vehicle. It looked like a scaled-down Camaro. Additionally, it weighed just around 2,200 pounds and, most importantly, had rear-wheel drive. Its major flaw? The motor. There was a small inline-4 engine installed in every Vega. Although it wasn't particularly quick, it was enough for commuting. The potential was instantly apparent to hot rodders. You have the ideal drag strip weapon if you took a car this light and put a V8 in it. With built-in Vegas, people were running 10s, even 9s. Additionally, the cost of insurance was far lower than that of a Camaro ZR28 or Chevelle SS because it was still considered a tiny car. By 1972, businesses were offering complete V8 swap kits for the Vegas, and Chevrolet even constructed a small block Vega prototype to test the concept themselves. To keep the front end light, it used an aluminum 302. There was no denying the potential. And Motion Performance's creator, Joel Rosen, knew just what to do next. Enter the Motion Vega. Motion Performance started selling turnkey V8 Vegas, which are vehicles that are ready to wreak havoc on the streets and can be picked up completely built. Starting at about $4,000, the base model was already more costly than a brand new Camaro ZR28. However, these exchanges weren't typical. Serious performance considerations went into the design, testing, and delivery of these vehicles. The Phase 3 Motion Vega was the genuine thing, and you could step up to it if you had the money. To withstand the punishment, this $5,000 beast was equipped with a 12-bolt rear axle, a Rock Crusher M22 4-speed, a 370 horsepower LT1 small block, and a strengthened suspension. However, that was only the start. Motion would gladly sell you a Vega with a 427 or even a 454 big block engine if you were willing to pay more. It took extensive surgery to fit one of these beasts into such a small engine bay, side exit exhausts, firewall modifications, and special motor mounts. The outcome? A automobile that weighs 2,200 pounds and has 400 to 450 horsepower. The speed in a straight line was vicious. Handling was, to put it mildly, unimportant. These vehicles were designed to humiliate everything you were lining up against, not to corner. Not all motion was limited to engine changes. Almost every component of your Vega could be customized. Instead of a big block, would you prefer a small block that is turbocharged or supercharged? That's something they could do. Desire side pipes, a re-deckled spoiler, a L88 style hood, and the iconic Motion side stripes. No issue. They will even construct a Vega wagon for you. Yes, a station wagon that could make a Hemi Charger look bad at a stoplight. Imagine the expression on a person's face when a grocery store employee smokes them. How many were built? This is where things start to become a little unclear. It is unknown how many Motion Vegas were produced. Only roughly 454 powered Vegas were ever constructed before the EPA intervened and essentially ended the initiative, according to MotorTrend. The sale of brand new vehicles with uncertified engines that broke emissions standards infuriated the government. Joel Rosen, who tragically died in 2023, used to provide motion car authentication services, which allowed anyone to confirm whether a car was a genuine Motion model. Some of the history of these vehicles might be gone forever without him. We do know that the majority of Motion Vegas was severely damaged, raced, or altered. A rusting Vega, which is truly one of these fabled street cars, might be languishing in a barn somewhere. The holy grail of dealer-built muscle. A real big killer. The Motion Vega is still regarded as one of the most insane dealer-built vehicles from the muscle car era. It's the ideal illustration of why being a car fan in the early 1970s was so amazing. You could pay a few $1,000s, check a few boxes, and leave a Chevrolet dealership with a vehicle that could compete with or even outperform the nation's quickest vehicles. These vehicles now rank up there with the AMC Gremlin 401XR, Yenko Chevelles, and Copo Camaros as the era's golden grails. You've discovered a piece of history if you locate an authentic Motion Vega. Please hit the like button, share this video with other gearheads, and subscribe for more amazing stories about the most amazing automobiles in the world if you like this in-depth look at one of the most insane street machines ever created.